this is the last Night Elves build I was working on, and so I'm going to continue building the alt brick version of the Helm's Deep set from Lord of the Rings. I think this is a 2012 set, so if you like Lego, if you're interested in Lego, welcome to the chat. Leave a like if you are here at some point and check in. Thanks for being here. And I'm first going to rearrange the minifigures as people come on in here, and just thanks for being here and watching a Night Owls live stream. These alt brick sets have turned out to be really cool, and so at least this one for sure, because it's not missing anything. The number bags correlate with the instruction book. It's almost like a Lego set. Alexandria, so cool. Alexandria, thanks for being here as long as you can be. I know it's super late for some people, but also it's like right in the time zone for people like Roaming Bricks. So if I catch some of you guys, or Mayo perhaps, that's even better. And oh, all right, we got Brickstorm. Welcome, Brickstorm. Very cool. Hope you guys are doing well on this super late night Saturday live stream, or I guess early Sunday, depending on where you are. And happy weekend to everyone. And I'm just putting the minifigures on a platform here so you can see with this. I think there might be a couple more, but yeah, these are the alt brick version of this Helm's Deep set. I think it's a 2012 set. And good to see you guys all here. John Powell says, didn't think you were streaming tonight. Yeah, I was trying to rearrange some plans, and then things got changed, but I figured, well, I'm still up, got lots of energy still, and thought this would be a good time to continue the Night Owls live stream I did with this Helm's Deep set. And so far, looking really good. Fortress set, it's alt brick, but you can tell, not from probably the camera, but if you look very carefully at the studs, you can tell there's no Lego logo. That would be one clue if you were to see something after it was already built. But the quality of the bricks is really good, and the minifigures is probably like 80% quality level. But as far as the structure build goes, these gate doors, everything lines up really well. The bricks have that nice Lego snap, and it's kind of the interior of the build so far. And the instruction booklet matches what you are building, and it's all these funny things that you will, if you ever get an alt brick set, you might have a little bit of a challenge in the order of the packaging. But in this case, things look to be doing really well. The only kind of weird thing so far are the number bags are very faint. So if you get this package, I bet even some water touches this, and then that number disappears, disintegrates. But in terms of the numbered bags, they match up with the instructions, and the instruction booklet looks like a facsimile, but a pretty decent version of a Lego instruction book. And so far so good. You know, knock on wood, there won't be any missing pieces. And I think where I left off last time, I was almost done with, I think, just bag 2. But building up the front structure, maybe the drop of the portcullis here of the Helm's Deep gate is what comes next. And there's a little catapult here on the top tower, which does launch that barrel brick. But if I do that, it'll be probably disappeared into the living room somewhere. So I don't want to do that. So good to see you guys, and welcome to this live stream. If you like Lego, please leave a like. If you like talking about Lego, or pretty much whatever you're up to, as long as it's family friendly, welcome to the chat, and welcome to BrickTherapy23. Here's our BrickTherapy23 logo brick built guy here with my son and I and our sig figs, and here we are building. So thanks for those of you that are here, and as you scroll through, if you just catch this live stream, you're like, oh, I like Lego, stick around for a bit and enjoy chatting with us in the live stream, bringing up all kinds of things. There are silly topics regarding Lego in terms of the product itself of late. You know, recently there's been the smart bricks that are not so great. And there are some really amazing sets that are coming out that actually go with this theme here. The Minas Tirith Lego set, supposedly promised to be released in June, this coming summer, June of 2026. So those are some fun topics to talk about. There are classic Lego sets like, let's see if I have it within reach here, of sets from the past. Although this one's a remake, sets from the past. So if you like old classic Lego, let's say you were a Gen X Lego fan, then you would love seeing these sets from the past, right? These classic space sets, you know, with the classic look. I remember these boxes, box art, and then the only thing different now, which would have been really cool if they did it for this one, but the way things are, you probably can't do that. This would be a flip top lid. You could lift up the top picture here, it would be a flat, like a page from a book, and then you could see all the Lego pieces underneath some cellophane wrapping and see all the cool pieces you're gonna get before it turns into this amazing classic space build. So yeah, there's a lot of topics you can cover with Lego. You can talk about, if you are an avid Lego collector, maybe you have some of the sets you see behind me here. So, you know, when you get back into Lego, especially with me and my kids, we got really into Lego when we were living overseas. And so our collection kind of built up abroad. This was kind of a fun way to just get used to a different culture and place, you know, have a little bit of escapism and debrief from just the cultural transition from one country to the next. It gets a little bit stressful at times, and so Lego is a great de-stressor. It still is. So if you are obviously a grown-up fan of Lego and you are a Lego collector, you know exactly what I mean. So we got Brickstorm, we've got Alexandria, we've got John Powell, we've got plenty of coverage for the mods. This is awesome. It's always a risk to do a Night Owls version and not have any mod help, but this is great. You guys are here for as long as you can be, which is great. Let's see. Hey, James Martin. James Martin with the first question. James says, how long do you have to do to be able to build all this? So James, there's not really a set time frame. If you were looking at the sets individually, so like this big skyscraper build here, the Daily Bugle, you'd probably, let's say you were just building uninterrupted, you know, you just took breaks throughout the day. I bet you could probably build up that set within a day, you know, maybe 13 or 14 hours. That's a long time. But, you know, if you split it up over time, you know, you got other things you got to do. It becomes more of a project you come back to. Then I would say this probably took me 2 weeks, but, you know, consecutively, all the hours added up, probably about 13 hours. Now, if it's a smaller set, well, smaller compared to that, like these Harry Potter sets, each one of those is probably about a 3 to 4 hour build, depending on what you do, probably even less than that. My son, who's a lot younger, could probably build this thing up in a couple hours. Just he's so fast. So yeah, overall, if you were to add all this together, yeah, there's no way you could build all that up in a day. But yeah, this represents different seasons and times, different hours, sets of hours for each set. And then you could get the really small sets. Let's just say you are a Lord of the Rings fan and you got a Treebeard guy here, this kind of build here. This would take you maybe 20 to 30 minutes. Maybe a little bit longer if you're a younger builder, you're not used to putting together all the little kind of unorthodox kind of construction here with some of the Technic pins and techniques. But yeah, more experienced builders, it won't take them long at all. So I like more of the traditional builds, meaning, you know, something that has a recognizable structure to it. And, you know, the stacking up of bricks like this, where, you know, obviously you're making a wall, a tower, and then it all comes together in a nice logical way. Just making sure everything doesn't have any gaps. But I think for this set, you know what, I don't know, because the alt brick version, it doesn't tell you I'll have to look it up. The Outbreak version doesn't tell you how many pieces this is. So let me get that statistic here real quick. But yeah, you know, any big set like even if you were to look up Lego itself, if you're not familiar with Lego, there's some really big sets. There's a Titanic ship from, you know, the historic Titanic cruise ship. What am I trying to say? The oh my gosh, streamline or passenger ship from the early 1900s. There's a model like that. That would probably take you. That's about 10,000 pieces. That would probably take you 2 days, nonstop if you built it, I would think. So probably about, I don't know, 18 to 20 hours. But you know, it really depends on how committed you are, how much time you have to building these sets. And like I said, if it becomes a hobby, then you know it's fun not to rush through it either. So for sets that are really big, I like to, you know, build for a couple hours and then come back to it, or sometimes just build for an hour. I like to, when I live stream, I just build for an hour and also have good conversation. So this Helm's Deep set, let's see, it is or it was released. This was released in 2012. Set 9474 from the Lord of the Rings series, the first series of Lord of the Rings Lego sets, and it's 1,368 pieces. So I don't know if you were to gauge, let's say 300 pieces or so of regular Lego sets might take you close to an hour, maybe, if you're just kind of taking your time and enjoying the build, you know, and then you multiply that by 10. So then, so let's see. Yeah, so if it was an hour for 300 pieces and you got 1,300 pieces, let me do the math here. It's about 5 hours maybe or so. I don't know, my math might be off there, but yeah, something like that. And again, it just depends. Hey, James, thanks for subscribing. Thanks for the question too. That's a really good question. It's always fun to see what you guys are thinking when it comes to Lego. If you're new to the hobby, or you're just curious, or you've collected Lego off and on, or you're one of those people that you really like Lego when you were younger, and then of course you outgrow it for a time, and then they call it the dark ages, and then you get back into Lego as a grown-up collector, and then you go all in, right? You build up a collection like I have behind me. So yeah, Brick Therapy. If you want to get a glimpse of my UCS sets and my modulars, I posted a short video. I did, John Powell, I think I saw that because Brick Together also shared it in his community, and it showed 2 sections of your shelves and what you were planning to break down. So I think I saw that video, unless you did another new one. I saw the one that Brick Together shared about 2 days ago, if that's the one. But yeah, I will definitely take a look again because it was so cool to hear all the sets that you were talking about and then seeing them on display, which sounds like you might rearrange that. So yeah, James Martin, thanks for subscribing and being here. I like to give people high fives when they join in on our channel. James says, I love to build stuff like this. It helps me with my anxiety and depression. Can you use action figures? Yeah, James, like I said, this is a great de-stressor. You know, you end up focusing on just something creative and a little more focused attention on something, but you know, it's not meant to be anything too crazy. And you can get really involved in these builds. I guess it could be stressful in the sense that, you know, sometimes it does get a little challenging to put some of these things together. But then, you know, you just take a break and then it becomes super fun. And I like seeing all these little pieces that are piled up here get turned into something structural and, you know, awesome looking, like a miniature of a real life structure. It was really fun. So when you say action figures, obviously you have the Lego minifigures that are, you know, playable figures, or ones that just help with the display. These become very valuable in themselves. A lot of people like to collect these minifigures, and especially ones that are, you know, several years old and are retired. They don't, you know, you can't buy these anymore unless you buy it from another collector. So yeah, these are probably what you mean by action figures. So yeah, it does include those. If you mean minifigures in general, I don't know. I guess it depends. Like these obviously, these minifigures can be attached, right? They can be attached to the Lego bricks themselves because the bottom of their feet have the same width as the Lego studs to be able to snap into place, which is cool because when you move stuff, nothing falls in general. Alexander says Lego is awesome. Exactly. Let's just put it into a simple declarative statement. It is true. Lego is awesome, Alexander. You can't go wrong with that. James Martin says, do you sell them? No, I've never sold my Lego. If you go onto a website called BrickLink, BrickLink is where a lot of people set up their virtual store, and kind of like a Craigslist, but just for Lego. And it's actually run and owned by Lego now. It used to be a private website. And then at some point Lego bought it, took it over. But yeah, there's a lot of people that do sell their Lego on there. And you can find lots of these sets that have been retired. You know, they're out of circulation. And if you are very focused collector, you know, you're looking for a set from 20 years ago or 10 years ago or 5 years ago or 1 year ago or just even now. And, you know, sometimes you can get a set that's used, but it's still out there, but a little bit cheaper because it's used. That's a great website to go find older Lego sets with. I've bought from there just a few times. Bought some just Lego pieces that I needed to replace on an old Lego set, or I bought like 1 or 2 Lego sets that have been retired. My son bought a Bionicle set from there when we first discovered BrickLink, and all the sellers there are really good. They have a sales record on there. You get customer reviews, so it's like a very reputable and probably one of the safest places to buy Lego. You just have to buy it through, or you have to expect there's a wait time because everything is obviously shipped to you. It's not like going to a physical store. So yeah, John Powell says, okay, that's it. Figured we talk about it all the time, so you might want to see it. Yeah, John Powell. Okay, cool. That is the video. I'm gonna watch it again though because I only saw maybe the first intro part of it, and then just see what you're planning. But yeah, it's so fun to see other people's collections, especially ones that, you know, you and I have talked about and engaged on our live streams here. So it's fun to see. And I know Brick Together has raved about it. So it's like, okay, we got to see this collection. And I've been telling John Powell, you got to post a picture of it somewhere, put it on some community page so I can see your collection. So now it is available on the interwebs, which is perfect. Okay, this is gonna be quite the fun. I want to say this is the portcullis, but maybe it's more of a yeah, it would be. This would be kind of another security door or gate that would slide down. At least it looks like it. I'll have to watch the movie for reference again. Look up a YouTube clip of the Helm's Deep battle and see where this section comes in. But yeah, this is a pretty good build. And like I said, for an alt brick set, this build holds up, man. This build holds up really well. And we're building up kind of more of a front protective door gate to the Helm's Deep Fortress. I love the sound of that, Fortress. James Martin says, how long did you have to do to build all of this? How did you do it all? So James Martin, if it's like I said, this is like a collection over the years. So, you know, it just depends on the individual. It's going to take you a long time. And it depends on your budget too. You know, you just don't go out and buy, you know, hundreds of Lego sets at once. So it's taken years. I think we got back into Lego. Oh, I know we got back into Lego around 2018, or at least I did. And that's when our collection began in earnest. So we had a couple Lego sets before that, just a few that my kids got as gifts. And then from that point on, we got more of those sets. And eventually, this became the full collection. So yeah, it takes time, James. It takes time. Hey, Chris Vick. Good to see you here. John Powell says, yeah, it's a short video. Hopefully when it's all rearranged, I will do a follow-up video. That's cool, John Powell. Yeah, just do some YouTube shorts. Actually, you could divide up your video into YouTube shorts. Yeah, and then you'll have some more content out there if you want to do that, because you could do like a vertical recording of everything. But that is the fun part. That, you know, talking about Lego, the topic or content on YouTube. I know Roaming Bricks said this too. My favorite part about people who do YouTube videos about Lego is just kind of seeing their own experience and what they're collecting. So yeah, like how your collection's on there, John Powell, or at least some of it, or when they do a haul, when they go and, you know, buy some Lego sets through the Lego store, and you know, they do like an unboxing of everything they've acquired. Those are my favorites. So John Powell, that's right. That is right in the direction I love seeing Lego videos. I know some people like the reviews. The reviews are good. I like some Lego reviews. I've tried to do a few of those. They are more complicated than you think. You know, once you press the record on the camera, you are trying to, it's like no problem, and then you realize, oh my gosh, I'm talking to the camera, and then it feels like there's an audience really there listening to you, even though you're just talking to the camera. So yeah, the reviews take some practice, but I feel like the last one I did on the Orthon Tower, actually another alt brick set, I felt like that one went really well. So yeah, just I like how people share on YouTube their own YouTube channels about Lego. What they're collecting, what they're building. The live streams are perfect because then you can engage with the channel creator as well. And yeah, just share your own experience with the build, your own impressions. Some people are totally locked into Lego news, like they know all the new rumors or leaks or whatever about what's going to be coming out next. Like people who knew about the UCS Death Star going to be released, and what that was going to look like, or now the Helm's Deep. Some people knew what that was going to look like, and then of course pictures were put out there. And then you get the people that are part of the Lego Ambassadors Network, you know, the ones that we've talked about, where they get the privilege of, literally the privilege of, a free Lego set. So yeah, James Martin, actually, if you're interested, there's so many different angles to see how people collect, build, and share their Lego collections. But yeah, the Lego Ambassadors, they get to get early previewed everything and get it for free, and then they do the reviews, which, you know, you can't compete with that, man, when they're like a month ahead of the rest of us. Here's some cool colored flags. This has not changed. This design for Castle Flags has been all the way up until now, because the 3-in-1 Creator Lego build I did over the summer, I think the flag design was exactly the same. And this is from a 2012 set. And if you go back to the Knights Castle, the Knights with the black helmets and kind of dark blue torsos, these flags wear the same as well. All right, we have actually, or maybe I did build up all the minifigs. So you get, now into bag 4, you get these minifigs. You get the Urukai, or the Urukai, however you say it, with their shield. It's funny, this guy, the legs stick better to the platform than they do to the torso here. But you get these cool looking figs. I think the only different is how they hold the shield. They have to hold it horizontal versus vertical. And they got the white hand of Saruman on there, but the helmets are really like these infantry helmets, or these sapper helmets if they're breaching the castle. So there we go. That's the minifigure for bag 3. This is only bag 1 and 2. That's crazy. Okay, so we are building up the, let's see, we're getting to another side tower, it looks like. Side parapet. Oh no, this is not that. This is, well, maybe it's both. It's actually the castle approach that this will connect and go angular or curved, which is like in the movie where they ride out to meet the Uruk-hai at the very end of the movie and take out the guys in the Helm's Deep battle. Let's see. Hello, Bailey. Psh, high fives. Welcome, welcome. Bailey is back. Let's go. Alexander. Psh, hello, Alexander. Welcome, welcome. We've got Bailey. We got, let's see. We've got Kenneth. Yo. Psh, Kenneth, welcome, welcome, you guys. Thanks for saying hello and welcome to the stream. And let's talk Lego and your collections and what you're up to. And let me track down some pieces here. So we have a casualty of war in this build. You could say either a dead Uruk-hai or a dead Helm's Deep dude. Although if it's kind of sort of a skeleton, I don't know. But we've got a casualty of war on the steps of the castle. Actually, it might be Uruk-hai. So when this is probably one of the coolest figs here, when King Theoden rides out with his last of his guards on horseback, they start hacking away at the Uruk-hai. So maybe that's a dead Uruk-hai head on the castle pathway up to the gate. All right. So I need a couple of wing pieces and just some regular brick pieces. These, growing up, when I was a kid, when I first saw, like going back to classic space, when these wing pieces came out, we used to have a big, like, bin of Legos at my elementary school when I was a lot younger, obviously. And these were like sought after. You got to get the wing pieces. You know, they bring out the Legos for a recess or lunch or after school. And man, if you got one of the wing pieces before all the other kids, that was like prime. You had like the gold standard of Lego in your possession. It wasn't yours necessarily, obviously, but man, if you had that Lego wing piece, there's no telling what you could build. I remember too, a favorite was building pyramids. So you get a bunch of the 2x3 bricks, or like these, but two more studs extra, and you'd stack these around in a square, and then you'd build another square above it and everything. You'd build a pyramid out of these things. That was a super fun project. Let's see. John Powell says, as you can probably tell, I'm not really into making videos, but Royal has been on me to show my stuff. Yeah, John Powell, you say that now. You never know. It's always fun, whether it's just a video here and there, if it's just a video to share with our small community or our growing community. You might have more fun showing off the collection. And in any case, yeah, it's cool just to see the collection that you have and the collection other people have, and how they share what their builds are. Like just seeing what people are, how they set it up too. You get some ideas too in terms of how to set up your Lego shelf or your shelves to put your Lego sets on display. And I don't really have that kind of thing going on. It's just this table here that you see, and then my film in the other room or video in the other room. It's like, it's kind of the same thing, just put on a table. I think probably because my kids and I build so much and kind of break down sets and rebuild, that only the big sets really stay on the table, but these things keep getting swapped out. So don't have much of a shelf display to show off and kind of like, have how you'd have your library for your books or something. So, I guess at some point it would be fun to, get basically some IKEA style shelves. I guess the one in the other room, that's a good shelf display, but get some more of those and then set up a pretty good, maybe more organized look to our Lego collection. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe this guy was from a battle long ago, because he's going to be below the platform, maybe encased, kind of like the Great Wall of China. Maybe one of the workers who put and poured out all the cement or concrete to build the wall, and then fell into the mixture and disappeared forever. At least that's what's, you know, you can let your imagination. Oh, Lego says Lucy Sarai, welcome. Lucy Sarai 278, welcome to the channel. Good to see you guys here. Thanks for joining this Night Owls live stream. We were working on the Helm's Deep set, the alt brick version, and this set was already 14 years ago. It's crazy. So this set was released 14 years ago, and during that first run of not Lord of the Rings movies, the Hobbit movies. So I was trying to think about it, like the Lord of the Rings movies. Those came out like right at the start of the millennium. Like I think the Fellowship of the Ring was released in 2000, and then like every year after that, the other two movies. So like the or maybe it's 2001, but then the Two Towers. That one came out second, and that's what this set's based off of, the Helm's Deep battle. So that was what, 2002? And then the Return of the King, which will be the Minas Tirith set that hopefully will come out in June. And that's that movie was out in 2003, which is crazy. Those movies have stood the test of time. They're a great trilogy. And man, you know, those are movies you can come back to, and it's kind of fun too because the Two Towers movie is kind of like in the sentiment of Star Wars movies like The Empire Strikes Back or the Two Towers movie. That second movie in a trilogy is pretty powerful. So it's like almost pivotal. Like that second movie's got to be amazing. So liked and sub, says Lucy. Welcome, Lucy. Thanks for the sub and joining us here on the live stream. Appreciate it. These are my spur of the moment Saturday night. Well, Saturday for me, at least for another 6 minutes. Night Owl live stream. Sometimes, you know, when it's quiet at night, right? And you have a hobby that, you know, like Lego building or something, or reading a book, or doing a puzzle, or maybe you like to paint or draw, just that creative side of you kind of kicks in, and you know it's a weekend, so you don't have to worry about work the next day. It's just so fun to be part of, or it's so fun to do something like this and then share it with you guys and have you be part of the live stream. So that's what we're doing. We're sharing our hobby, and you know, it sounds like some of you guys might have a similar interest in Lego, which is super fun. And this is kind of cool to see the progression of this stairway or pathway up to the Helm's Deep Fortress. So yeah, then I was thinking that movie, or that series of movies. So yeah, the Fellowship of the Ring, the Lord of the Rings trilogy comes out right in 2001, I guess. 2001 through 2003, you have that first trilogy. But not until, I don't think Lego did any sets at that point for Lord of the Rings. It probably took them a while to get the licensing. And then when the Hobbit trilogy came out, right? So that was 2012, I guess. The Hobbit trilogy, I guess 2012 to 2014. Then the Hobbit trilogy came out, and these sets, these Lord of the Rings sets, got released. So go figure. Not related to the Hobbit movie per se, but related to the overall lore of the J.R.R. Tolkien storyline or set of novels. And, unfortunately, which I think most people agree, the Hobbit movies weren't the best. Definitely the cinematography was cool, but just, yeah, not the best in terms of storytelling. Could not recapture what the Lord of the Rings trilogy did. So, and I know you guys had mentioned, actually, Alexandria, maybe you were the one who told me that they might be doing a movie for the Gollum character, which would be interesting. That would be kind of like a prequel for like the Shire and what happened there. So I don't know, maybe there'll be something more. Maybe there'll be some more Lord of the Rings sets. Hope they'll do something like this, like the more medium-sized builds, because the sets they've come out with and the one they'll be coming out with are those are in the high price range, right? You're talking like a $400 to $500 range. Damos is here. Damos puppets. Let's go. Hello, hello. Liam is here. Liam, good to see you guys. Wow, some familiar names are coming back into the live stream. Love it. Thanks for the 11 likes on this very early or very late Night Owls live stream. I love calling it that. I don't give it much of a descriptive picture. I just like to let it be kind of the evening hangout, you know, and keep everything kind of subdued with the excitement and the thumbnail. But yeah, the build though is looking so cool. And it's kind of cool to have the Harry Potter sets as the backdrop here. So yeah, welcome to the live stream. John Powell is here. We got Alexandria. We have Brick Storm here for a little bit. We've got Brit and Bricks. Oh my goodness. Haven't seen him in a while. High five, huzzah. Oh, high five. Doing the spelling sound of everything. So cool. Brit and Bricks is back. Good day, Brit, says Liam. Good to see you guys. So I found a time frame I could catch some of you guys where maybe it's a more normal part of your day. Not so much for our East Coasters, but that's okay. They're dedicated and they are here, and it's pretty awesome. So yeah, building up an all brick version of Helm's Deep from the Lord of the Rings series, the Two Towers movie, the second movie in that trilogy. Probably, it'd be hard to say, but that might be a lot of people's favorite in terms of that trilogy of movies. But in terms of that, the Fellowship of the Ring, the prologue, the first opening that kind of gives you the backstory to the ring and how it was made. That is an awesome. That in itself was worth going to see the movie. That's just that first, I don't know what it was, 10 minutes or so, maybe less than that. That opening prologue, though, of the first movie, The Fellowship of the Ring. So good. Such good storytelling. Peter Jackson, man. It'd be cool to see that type of storytelling come back. I know the Hobbit one sort of involved him as a kind of a rescue option when they did the Hobbit trilogy, but man, wasn't done to the same quality, and it was a bummer. However, in terms of Lego, it did inspire these awesome Lego sets, so I can't complain there. Can't complain there whatsoever. And yeah, just building up this very cool build of an angular pathway up to the Helm's Deep Fortress. We'll go right here. Boom. And then, you got a little bit of an Easter egg here with we'll call him the dead Uruk-hai. The guy who came in, the sapper who went underground and, blew up the the gate to allow the Uruk-hai to breach the walls. Maybe that's who it is. His head got lodged into the bottom of the stone steps that lead up to the Helm's Deep castle. Yeah, we can use our imagination here and think through how this all came about. Yeah, just one of my favorite just series of movies of all time. One of those series of movies you could come back to and watch, or just think on as you build a cool set like this. Again, a 2012 set. This was, in case you were wondering, you just caught this now. This is the alt brick version, so not the official Lego version, but it's the build representing the Lego Lord of the Rings, the Battle of Helm's Deep. Set 9474, 1,368 pieces, released in 2012. And so I guess it was probably retired, maybe 2013 or maybe 2014. And I mentioned this before, these sets, I can't believe, I know, my kids we went to the toy store off and on. They were really small back then, but I remember we went to the toy store. We went to a Toys R Us when those still existed, And I know I saw in the Toys R Us, we went looking at Legos because I was like, oh yeah, what do Legos look like in terms of what's out there? What do kids get for Legos these days? And I remember, I think there might have been a UCS Death Star that was released at that time. So it was like 2012. And my jaw dropped to the ground. I could not believe there was such thing as like a $700 Lego set. I think it was a Death Star that I saw. The box was huge. And, you know, just being someone who, now it's kind of the norm, but back then it's like, so yeah, this is like what, 14 years ago? To see a toy that much, I just couldn't wrap my head around it. So maybe that's why I was distracted. But I'd never noticed these Lord of the Rings sets when they were out originally. And I'm pretty sure they were probably at Target, and I'm sure they were at Walmart, Target, all that. And just did not notice them. Like, what the heck? So I do remember the Marvel sets starting to come out. I know there was the Star Wars sets that were around, but yeah, just did not notice these. It would have been fun to just seen these originally on the store shelves and like, you know, picked one up, especially because I know they had some smaller kind of battle pack sets that went with these Lord of the Rings sets. As I looked up, did a little bit of research on things. So yeah, missed out back then. Liam Brick the Bread says 12 hours, darn. Britton Brick says, yeah, I'm at work, 4 hours left to go from a 12-hour shift. Lucy Soria says, oh, yeah, Lucy, you gotta love the collection. Hopefully you guys are collecting and growing your Lego collection as well. Of course, it does get more expensive these days. But yeah, Britton Bricks putting in the hours. Is this Minas Tirith? No, this is the Helm's Deep. We will see though, Britton Bricks. We'll see how that plays out in the summer. Looking forward to that. Just looking forward to summer in general. But yeah, that will be fun to see what they got. What will Lego do in terms of gift with purchase for that set, and what it'll look like all built up. What it'll look like all built up and on display. I love seeing when these big Lego sets are on display at the Lego store, like when the Shire set came out. Yeah, last spring. It seems like it was longer ago, but yeah, last April they released the Shire set, the newer Shire set, and they put out the Barad-dûr and the Rivendell set all built up in the Lego store window display. Man, looked amazing. So I assume they're going to do the same thing, but now with another huge set being the Minas Tirith. So yeah, that's not what this is, Britton Bricks, but you know, one can dream. We'll see. Think it's a retired Lord of the Rings set. Yes, you are correct, Liam. This was 2012 when this came out. John Powell says, I've been playing Lego Lord of the Rings all day. John Powell, all right. John Powell, do you have some of these old school sets like originally? I never asked that. I should, maybe in your video, it's on the shelves. I'll have to double check. Britton Brick says, I am now officially on the struggle bus. I might have to be dinner time. It might have to be dinner time so that I have something to keep me awake. Britton Brick's struggling. Yeah, that's a long shift. Liam says, my passport paperwork for Brick World Chicago is in. Can't wait. I've never been to one of those, Liam. That sounds so fun. I would love to check one of those out. Mayo is here. Awesome, Mayo. Good to see you here. Good to see Britton Bricks. Catch you guys on the other side of the world here. Figured this Night Owls live stream might catch some of you. And not disappointed in the least. Luck and hard work, Alexandria says, Liam. So yeah, Liam is gonna go to the Brick World in Chicago. How fun is that? So are those hard to get into? I didn't even think about that. Liam, are you putting on something as a display table or something? But how cool is that? I would think those conferences, I know we've had some of those out here on the West Coast. I missed one a couple years ago. It wasn't near us, so it'd be a couple hours to get to. So I just didn't want to deal with traffic and everything. But I guess, yeah, I guess it does require maybe tickets. But yeah, I don't know how exclusive they are. But it sounds like, Liam, you got into something that's somewhat competitive to get into these Brick World sets or Brick World conferences. How fun is that? So if you just caught the live stream right now, or although Mayo, you're pretty savvy, you'd probably figure out. I'm obviously building my alt brick set. I continued from the last live stream, and yeah, this front entrance looks so cool from the Helm's Deep set, and at some point we'll be connecting the curved path where King Theoden rides down with his Rohirrim to take out the Uruk-hai with Strider. What's his name? The more official name, Aragorn. That's it, Aragorn. So yeah, when that Minas Tirith set comes out, I wonder. Actually, I should look that up as I'm talking about it. If there's more official info on it, like actual photos and who or what the minifigures are that are gonna come with it. Oh, it's still just leaked stuff. Some stuff on Reddit, but it looks like we will get an Aragorn for sure, but as king. So this guy right here will be King Aragorn, and with a crown. That'll be pretty cool. And it looks like, or I don't know, maybe that's a fan rendition. Maybe a siege tower as well for the orcs, since it is a battle, major battle from the Return of the King movie. I'll have to look at that leaked video later on, but interesting stuff to see what will come out if that's in June. But yeah, the Night Owls live stream. We can talk about anything. Josh Bricks, psh, good to see you. Let's see. Who else is here? Streamers for Life, says Mayo. Love it. Just going to soak it all in. Doesn't cost much, says Liam. Oh, okay. Doesn't cost much to get in. John Powell says, I've got some older modulars and some Star Wars sets from back around 2012. So John Powell, do you have all the modular sets then? When did they start those? I think it was probably around that time. Wasn't it around the early 2010s? Josh Brick says, how are we all doing? We're doing well, man. Doing a Night Owls live stream, and so cool to catch so many of you guys and to meet some new folks as well. Very cool to see everyone here, everyone greeting one another, of course, in our very close, friendly, or I can't say too close geographically, but Lego close and friendly community here through our YouTube community, which is so fun. And looking forward to it. Some of you guys don't know. Looking forward to. I'm trying to plan a collab stream with Brick Together. So hopefully that'll take place near the end of March or April. I still have to follow up and get back to them on a couple days, but be fun. I know Mayo, you've done a collab with them. I caught your guys's collab video, which is clever how you did it. 1 hour on your channel, I think it was, and then an hour on their channel, because I was trying to figure out how to do a collab where both channels can get credit for the live stream hours that you're on there. So that was a good way to do that, and hopefully it'll work out and we get to live stream with our friends and actually talk to them in real time and not just type messages in the chat. Not Emerald. Oh my goodness, getting to see all you guys here. Love it. Not Emerald is here. We've got Mayo. Modulars came out in 2007. Oh, okay, even older than the early 2010s. Not Emerald is the serious night owl here. 3:10 in the morning. Love it. Haven't seen you in a while, Alexandria. Well, here we go. We got the community connecting through the live stream. Liam says, looks like Lego Southwest Superstar Destroyer rumors might be true. Or sorry, Southwest Star Wars Superstar Destroyer rumors might be true. Yeah, I thought that was a legit news story already. So the question is on that one. The question on that one, Liam, is now that Lego has done the UCS Death Star in the $999 range, basically $1,000, but officially you can't say that because it's still it's still just shy, 1 cent shy of $1,000. Is that Star Destroyer going to be the same price range, or a little? Well, I don't know. I think it might be in the same price range. Which then my question is, will it be like a lot bigger of a ship, or a lot more detail, or a ton of minifigures? So that'll be interesting. Or will it be kind of more in the whatever it was originally? I don't even know how much the last one was. I'm guessing it was like in the $500 range. But if Lego can get away with that type of price, and quite a few people bought it, then it'll be interesting if they do something special with that one. Is that going to be planned for a May the 4th release? I assume with a promo type of gift with purchase to go with it, which I'm hoping maybe there'll be some really good promos. They usually do more than one gift with purchase promo for the May the 4th Star Wars releases. But then, yeah, just thinking about that. What price range are they thinking about when it comes to these crazy live streams? So let's see. Wild, let's see. Let's see how. Sorry, lost my place in the chat. Little old Bricks. Little old Brick says, I finally have all of my Lego drawers with parts in my studio now. Oh, I like the sound of that, Little old Bricks. Studio. John Powell says, no, I don't have all of them, referring to the modulars. Didn't get the first 5 or so. There was one, I forget, was the movie theater. I think that was one I saw recently at a Bricks and Minifigs. That one looks amazing. It was sealed still in the box, new. I wonder how much they were charging for it. I didn't ask. Liam says, little L mate, hope you had a great birthday. That's right, little L Bricks. Happy belated. Little Bricks with his 6 decades live stream. The Wild Easticus. The Wild Easticus says, let's see, just keep doing what you're doing. It just made my day. Oh my God, I gotta reread this, sorry. Look, don't care what anyone says or thinks, just keep doing what you're doing. Best to you, just made my day. Thank you, Wild Easticus. Awesome, glad you're here and glad the live stream is cheering you up. We got a good community here, got a good conversation, lots of fun things to think through. Of course, Lego is just a great medium for those who are into hobbies in general, right? Some people collect things. People collect things. People build things. People design things. Lego, you can do all of that, and it's fun. I've even had the privilege of doing a Lego club at my kids' school, and yeah, having them and their friends and just a bunch of kids build Lego. Actually, this is where our Brick Therapy guy came into existence. I built this up where I challenged the kids, like, build a figure of yourself, and what you think you can do with just the basic bricks and design, and that was what we came up with. So that was fun to build up with the kids. And I think I took a picture of everyone's build of themselves, but yeah, it was fun to do a Lego club with kids, and my kids, and their classmates, and Lego, keeping the dream alive, keeping the Lego joy alive. So looking forward to doing something like that again sometime. And yeah, thank you, Wildies, because it's fun to talk Lego. Just keep things family friendly, which is the best part. Not Emerald says, goodness, I'm not getting a Lego set for a while. Not Emerald, oh man, the pain and the reality is real, but you know what? Keep your, keep your budget intact, my friend. Keep your wallet safe for a while is probably a good thing. And Lego ain't messing around. those smart brick sets are crazy. The designs and the sound effects technology just didn't come off well, but the prices are just like uh, just a just a bit much, just a bit obnoxious. To be honest, it's like what if those are specially made for kids, I guess they're going to be assuming that kids are getting those as gifts. Because if I was a young person collecting allowance or saving money from birthdays or whatever, and then you're like you like Lego, you definitely like Star Wars, perhaps. Although Star Wars, I think, might be fading. I don't know how many young kids like Star Wars still, because it's not the same as it was with the movies that were pretty good back in the day. But the prices on those things, like, you know, what happened to the $10 battle pack sets? You could do that with Ninjago, but definitely not with Star Wars. So yeah, not Emerald. I feel you, man. Not getting sets for a while. That's awesome, Little Bricks, that you have your drawers back, says Alexandria. Liam says Lego Star Wars is getting too expensive. Hopefully it won't last over time, I think. Britton Brick says, how do you mean by SAG, Liam? I think stay over time. Let's hit 20 likes. Psh, we got 2 more. We can get there, Alexander. We can get there. The Palace Cinema, that's the one. Little Brick says, I own 2.5 of those. The Palace Cinema. That is that you know what? I looked at all the modulars, and that one I think might be the best one, and it's gone already. Although I did finally get my Natural History Museum. That thing was on back order, and I was like, oh no, they're gonna cancel it on me because it was over a month and they hadn't shipped it yet. And I don't know. It's not a new set, so I thought, I know it's supposed to be retired, but either way, I was concerned that they might not work out. Everything's going on back order these days. A lot of Lego sets after the January release of sets just tended to go on back order, and you couldn't get anything in a timely manner. So thank goodness it arrived. So I think if I had to stop collecting Lego, that would be one set I am glad I have, because I don't want to miss out on that one. I don't know if it's going to be as awesome as other Lego sets, but just that Natural History Museum. I love history, and so to have that as a Lego set is so cool. I guess in terms of history, then I should have like the Pyramid of Giza set. That would be a cool one. Although it's an architecture set that doesn't have the same kind of wow factor as the Natural History Museum does, but it still looks pretty good. But yeah, the Natural History Museum is in my possession, so there's some good news in that front. Mayo says, this will be my last time watching your streams for a while because I'm going back to grad school tomorrow. Psh, Mayo, the vacation has come to an end, Mayo. No worries, Mayo. We'll welcome you when you can make it. Does that mean you're going to slow down on your streaming then as well? John Powell says, Palace Cinema is probably my favorite one that I own. Oh, so you have that one, John Powell. That is cool. So you and Lil L Bricks. I give the Smart Bricks 2 years. Oh, Little L Bricks, you're being optimistic. I kind of liken those to the video series that Lego did. It's like, they did that for, I want to say maybe a year, and then those things disappeared, man. Those were horrendous. But yeah, you think the Smart Bricks will last? Either that or they'll make them better. But I think the mistake Lego's making is that they're meant for kids. The prices are too high, and they're just not that great. So I don't know. So yeah, maybe they won't make a comeback. But yeah, 2 years, I hope so. And those are the ones where it's like, buy one for a collector's item, because those will be the ones you want to sell back for nostalgia's sake, because they were a total flop. But I don't want to even consider having any of those. The designs are not that good, as John Powell has mentioned. They look like 4+ sets already. They don't cost like 4+ sets, and I don't know. Just there's so many other good designs that Lego's done, and you take all the money added up to buy one of those sets. It's like you get one of these cool designs back here. Don't get those. Get some other Star Wars set, to be honest. So yeah. We'll see. 2 years. That might be, well, we'll see. Britain Brick says, yeah, that makes no sense at all, does it? Other themes are so much cheaper and it's still Lego. Exactly. If I had to stop Lego, I'd die, says Little Old Bricks. It would be well, you know what, Little Bricks, you wouldn't die because you have your Legos that you already collected. That's why we it's like it's like how you save up food and everything for survival when, the whole modern society comes to a crashing halt, but then you have a whole food storage. We'll have a food storage and Lego, so you got your backlog, or you can rebuild your sets. To be honest, do you think the smart brick will be around that long? Says Britain Bricks. I know, 2 years, maybe. I don't know about that. That would be hilarious if it does at serious discount. I think Lego's gonna have to entice people to buy those things. Even when they post it on their social media page, those things get some serious made fun of. Brent Brick says, if I stop Lego, then I would be very bored and possibly go back to gaming. You don't have to stop. It's not like you can't build the sets you have already. Rebuilding and sorting and organizing your Lego is, to me, also part of the brick therapy. You gotta clean your Lego sets every once in a while. It would definitely make me live up to my declaration that I need to, especially with our Ninjago City modular, is dismantle that thing and get it all cleaned up and rebuilt. I need to do that with that set because I know parts of it have fallen down and got knocked off and put back up. It's not in a good state of repair. Mayo says summer's over, which does mean less streams per week. So that's it. Shaq13 Brick says, what are you building? Hey, Shaq. Welcome. Building the Helm's Deep set from 2012. This is the alt brick version, but the bricks are pretty good. And I haven't come across any major issues. And of course, the minifigures look pretty darn good too. So yeah, this is a Lord of the Rings theme set from 2012. It probably was out a couple years. The Orthon, this is the season that some really good Lord of the Rings sets came out with that Orthon Tower, and then this. And I think there was a Hobbit. I don't know if they called it the Shire, but yeah, like the Shire set that's out now. But it was like Frodo or maybe Bilbo Baggins' house. So yeah, they had some really cool sets, and I was saying how it's crazy that I didn't even notice that back when these sets were out. I wasn't collecting Lego at that time, and it would have been fun to notice these things on the shelves. Or because I wasn't a Lego collector, maybe I would have thought, oh my gosh, how desperate is Lego? They're trying to turn all these movies into Lego sets. Who knows what my perspective would have been. But welcome, Shaq. Thanks for being here. Leave a like. Subscribe if you guys get a chance. Little Brick says, and they don't sell the smart bricks by itself. No, that's the other thing. It's just a domino of things you have to get involved in. It's not worth it. All right, not Emerald. Trooper, staying up into the night owls. Love it. Smart brick sets will be on discount before the end of the summer. I agree. There's no way those things can be at the price they're at, and they're trying to get young. Those are sets meant for young kids. Like, they gotta change something. And like Britain Brick said, there's other Star Wars sets that are not like that, and they're Lego, and so I would buy a better looking Lego, TIE Fighter, X-Wing, or whatever. Little Brick says, okay, I'll rephrase. If I had to stop Lego and sell my Lego, then I would, then you'd give into despair. my life, everything. I would have no reason. Fair enough, little old bricks. You would have to reinvent this. You'd have your 3D printer and just rebuild civilization again in terms of Lego. Liam says, "Yeah, I gotta make lynx-proof fence to protect my sets." Oh my goodness, Liam, that's crazy. You have a lynx. Mayo says, "Managing your collection is like building sets and sorting pieces all summer." Yeah, it's almost like you need to go on summer break to do that. Exactly. The bacon decoy, says Liam. Very cool. So here we got another section of the wall build here. So let me get this part done. It's like a curved part of the wall. I love these type of builds. Let's see, everything's here. Okay, so far so good. Everything is here. All right, this part, these little hinge pieces do not snap in very well, but other than that, everything's gone together pretty well. But yeah, there's no snap. It just kind of slowly, I don't know, a little bit of resistance, but slowly connects into place, but not the Lego snap we're looking for. Okay, let me get this part here. Got to do a couple of these. And yeah, the cool part is this is just bag 1 and 2, and I'm now working on bag 3. I've got this built and the platform entrance going on in there. So if you're just joining, please leave a like as you join the Night Owls live stream. Thanks for being here, everyone. And talking Lego. There's so much to talk about Lego. And yeah, I didn't want to set off a whole, if I had to give up Lego forever, I didn't want you guys to think that. I was just having fun with the idea, like, if you lost, or if you couldn't buy Lego anymore, like there's still Lego, but if you couldn't buy Lego anymore, then, you'd have to be satisfied, obviously, with the collection you already have. And those of us that have a good sized collection, this is a good thing because there's lots to build, rebuild. You could modify things. That'd be kind of interesting. It'd be like, if you were forced to survive on a deserted island, all the ingenuity, you wouldn't give in to just the elements. You'd, become survival mode. And then how amazing would your Lego look when you had to just rebuild and redesign what was already there? You might make something really cool. I was gonna picture that scene, if you've ever seen the movie Elf, where he just like he's in the toy store overnight, gets a bunch of Lego, and then makes basically the whole New York City skyline or something like that. It's pretty awesome. So let me get this. These do not snap together very well, but is this right? So, aha. So I think I did this right. Let me see. I feel like there's a gap here, but maybe there's supposed to be. But yeah, this build is, I don't know, so I'm building up this curved wall, but I don't know, something doesn't seem right. Maybe I should have done what it said here and put it together first before I connected it to the wall, but it doesn't show me that. So I think I have all the right pieces though. Oh, wait. I think I have all the right pieces. I should have. Let me take it out. Should have all the right pieces. I gotta do 2 of these, huh? Now it says there's enough to connect all the way across, and that. Oh, okay. No, that's right. Okay. Trust the process. That looks okay. I love it. How do you turn square bricks into a rounded edge? Very good. I'm ready. I'm already getting away from Lego, says John Powell. Lumi bricks or Panacea, John Powell. Ask Britain Bricks. So yeah, that is a valid point, John Powell. Now, I love the product. I love all that you know, you associate with Lego in terms of, you know, personal collections, what they mean to you. Especially sets that I got with my kids. There's like a very much a sentimental element to it all, and so that part means a lot. And so I'm trying to think, like, do I need to get more Lego? Not at all, right? This is definitely a first world thing. And yeah, maybe there's alternative Lego products that will be just as good. I need to check out one of those fantasy sets, or yeah, or Lumi Bricks actually, because they do have minifigures that come with those. They are probably the same dimensions as the Lego minifigures, but they obviously look different. They have curved arms and shoulders, and they look kind of goofy. You know, when you're used to seeing just the Lego sets themselves. So that part's kind of different, but I like some of those designs. I just can't bring myself to buy any of them yet because the prices are a little bit less, but you know, still like $80 to over $100. And there's some big Lego sets I want to budget before I do that. We'll see. You know, do have a Amazon gift card I could utilize and get one of those Lumi Brick sets. Though I think it was the drive-in movie theater. I saw one that looked really good. I think it was a drive-in movie theater or something like that. That looked like a great build. So I'll have to check out that one. But yeah, not giving up on Lego just yet. Lego Star Wars probably though. If I can get one of those UCS sets, that's it, man. Since my son's done with his clone army and all that, Lego Star Wars might be the one to say, that's it for. Mayo's out. Psh, dinner time. See you, Mayo. Thanks for being here, my friend. All right, there we go. We have a curved build. We've done some awesome discussion on just Lego in general and talking about everything with you guys and seeing some returners. So good to see BrickTherapy here, and built up more of this. This was here already, but I actually got the top part done of the portcullis and gate and the platform. And let's see, BrickTherapy says, I agree because of how long Lego Group has been around. The sets we have had when we were way younger, Lego does hold the advantage with nostalgia. Exactly. That's a good point to finish the live stream on. And I want to thank all you guys for being here. So glad. BrickTherapy is sitting down for a dinner meal. Well, I am glad that you guys came by, and thanks for being here. I got up to 18 likes. Really appreciate that. And I will see you guys soon. Thanks for joining the Night Owls. Should be our